So talking about Dangote refinery, the organization says it is targeting full price stability. For Nigerians struggling daily, what does that mean? Does stability mean prices would stop rising? Does it mean it will fall? What exactly are we saying here?
Stability means you can have what we call relatively stable pricing regime. Stability also means you can predict the next 60 days. But in commodity business, particularly oil, anywhere in the world, oil and gas, it's very difficult for you to have a long-term stability. You can only have short-term, medium-term stability if you plan very well. Why? Because the volatility surrounding the production of oil and gas is very big. Just one decision of President Trump, see the uncertainty it has brought to the marketplace by just that movement to go to Venezuela and seize the president of Venezuela. So see the daily production of the crude from Venezuela. This shipment has been stopped. So what's supposed to go maybe to China or to somewhere else, maybe India or somewhere else, is now being diverted. So that type of uncertainties, when Russia and Ukraine had problems, you saw what happened to the price of gas in Europe. So for that reason, the issue of stability, Nigerians must situate their country. We must situate this country in a position that we have no control over anything called commodity production and supplies. And I will mention that you cannot determine the price of rice in your country because you don't produce enough. You cannot determine the price of sugar in your country because you don't produce enough. You cannot predict and determine the price for the next 90 days of petrol in Nigeria because you don't produce enough crude. You cannot determine the price of gas. Even your cooking gas, our cooking gas, you cannot determine it in the next 90 days because you don't produce enough. So since you don't have the apparatus and the mechanism to produce enough from your natural giving resources, you depend so much on the vagaries of the international arena because you are import dependent. So that means Nigerians dream every day to think the price of something can be so stable for the next 6 months.
We are deceiving ourselves.
We are just dreaming, exactly. We call it wishful thinking, fantasy.
I like that clarity.
Yeah, so I hope you understand now. So people, even the fabrics that you and me are wearing today, you can't determine the price. So
until we start producing enough, Nigerians will stop to forget about price stability.
So, but we can manage depending on the strategic reserve. If Dangote refinery is able to hold strategic reserve, that can take us for like say 60 days because it has enough storage capacity.
So
okay, then you can say, oh, the price will be relatively good for the next say maybe 2 or 3 weeks or 1 month.
So is it also fair to tell Nigerians that domestic refining will not make fuel cheaper?
Yes and no. And I will tell you, if the domestic refineries are all working today efficiently and they have enough feedstock of crude, you can attain economy of scale, relatively stable price and affordable. Do you get my caveat? If all the refineries are working, the 4 refineries owned by government, if they are doing full production capacity and the feedstock they are having is coming from local crude producers, then you can have relatively stable price. But as long as that gap is there, that deficit is there, you are going to import crude oil. If the 4 refineries of government are working today, where will they get crude to feed it when you are doing below 2 million barrels?
But I just thought they could depend on Dangote refinery for cheap fuel.
The Dangote refinery at 700,000 barrels in few days' time cannot get 700,000 barrels from local.
I mean, those are the stories sold to Nigerians. You know, those are the stories sold to Nigerians that with Dangote refinery would get a fuel in cheaper prices.
If it gets, I continue to tell you, take this caveat. And it will always, that caveat will remain certain.
You say until all local refineries,
Even if the Dangote refinery is working full capacity today, take this caveat home. Where will that refinery get the crude? Is it locally and at what price? If it is international crude he's going to use to feed that refinery, at what price? That remains an issue always. If the price is at $60, good enough from international market. If the local crude is at, say, $58, $2 discounted.
No.
Not paying premium. At the moment, he's even paying premium. He's paying premium on, if they give him crude today at 62, they will tell him to go and pay premium of about $4 or $5.
All right.
That is already 65. So even if he refine in full capacity, he will meet our domestic market. But I don't want us to be saying, oh, will the price be cheaper? I told you, cheapness is a relative issue.
All right then.